It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, uh, Mr. Adi, Mrs. Stephanie, dear friends, good evening. I'm happy and it's an honor for me to be here tonight to tell you my story. So I have a question for you. Have you been a war refugee? Have you lived through war? So I will tell you what my family and I experienced during the 2002 war in Bouaké. My name is Tatiana Fian, and I was a war refugee in 2002. We were in Bouaké during the war, and I remember we hid under the dining table to protect ourselves from straight bullets. But our neighbor was unlucky because he was killed by a stray bullet on his bed. So when the government announced to bomb Bouaké, my mother decided to leave this city before it was too late. But the population was forbidden to leave, and all roads were blocked. But my mom, she was a very determined woman. She said, tomorrow we are getting out of Bouaké, and we are not spending another night in this town. So we left the next morning. There were 5 of us, my mother, me, my uncle, my aunt, and my cousin. We arrived in the Bouaké limit of the humanitarian at 5 a.m. and it was pitch dark. There were roads blocked, preventing people from continuing. But my mom was determined to move on. As we continued, we came face to face with the rebels. They were hiding in the grass, and they ordered us to return. And my mom told them, she said, please let us get out. My family and I, we don't want to stay here, and we are only 5 people, so please let us to get out. We don't want to return, and you are going to shoot us on the back. Then one of them recognized my mom because she was well known on the city, and she owned a clinic. He wanted to let us go, but the others refused, and they asked us to return, to go back. So we turned and tried to find another way. A few moments later, we found a small road, and we met a small group of people trying to leave the town too. So we had to be quiet and quick, as we are not far from the rebels' camp, you know. On the way, we come across a full-term woman ready to give birth. And my mom, she was a doctor. She couldn't leave that woman like that, so she rescued her and delivered the baby. It was very stressful and very dangerous for all of us, as she had to do it quickly. We found a small village, and we were allowed we met people who allowed us, gave us the place to rest, gave us food, drink, and we set off again at 2 p.m. and we arrived in the village called Moronou. And you know what? We walked a total 57 kilometers. Yes, it wasn't easy. When we arrived in Moronou, we were welcomed by some very nice people who knew my mom, because she used to come to this village to treat people. So one of her families welcomed us, gave us accommodation, you know, bedroom, food, drink, and we had to wake again at 2 p.m. We had to wake again to reach a small village, and we met some people telling their stories, their misadventures, and they have a sad story, they terrible stories. I was terrified when I heard women that said they had taken a wrong road and discovered several harms, feet cut off, you know. So after this, we wait for trucks to come to pick up people, and it costs 10,000 francs CFA per person. So finally, we had for trucks at 4 p.m. To Yamoussoukro, and we arrived at night in Yamoussoukro. And the next morning, my mom called the family who welcomed us, and you know, to say thank you. And this family told my mom, you know what, you were very lucky and very blessed, because after your departure, the rebels came at the station and killed everyone who stayed behind. So yes, so today I want to pay a tribute for the woman who left me in 2014, my mother, a very determined woman, very courageous, and the woman of decision. I want to be like her and pass on values and the education she gave me to my daughter. And there's the one thing I remember too, that's that good is never lost. Thank you for your attention.